Okay, YouTube, so this is Acid Roots. We've got a Daughtry album review, and this is their self-titled album, and the band is actually titled after the man, Chris Daughtry, who is the lead singer. So, this guy was on American Idol and made a band later down the road and managed to drop this album, and it was pretty much a large presence in rock music between the years of late 2006 to about mid 2008. So I think to that certain amount of time, hearing some of these songs was everywhere. Songs like It's Not Over, that charted at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. You know, if you know songs like It's Been a While by Stained and Blurry by Puddle of Mud, some of these songs, a lot of times post-grunge will actually make it pretty high on the charts. There's just something appealing about it that I feel like folks will, the allure of it is a little bit too strong to not find yourself singing along. I'm not sure the exact reason as to why these songs are better than metal songs, but post-grunge, it's a genre that it brings home the bacon, and this album went 4 times platinum, which is 4 million copies. Now, considering all the singles that were released from this album, that's really surprising that it just went 4 times platinum, because it had 5 songs that charted on the Billboard Hot 100, which is the main music chart, and all of these hit within the top 30, but then it actually had 8 singles, so 8. It had several singles that were just released to pop radio stations, but then it also had 3 that were released to rock. Now, the songs that were released to the rock charts are the reason why I'm reviewing this album. I really don't have a taste whatsoever for pop rock, alternative rock, or hard rock, but I do have enough appreciation to like the blend that they did. So my obvious complaint is going to be that I wanted more alternative metal and post-grunge, but there's just not enough. I mean, this is an example of someone who went mainstream, and I think that it's said that this was the best-selling album of 2007 in the United States. So that might be true, but it's good to finally realize what number 1 was. So I know that. I've known what a few of the albums were throughout periods, but this is one of which. So, best-selling album of 2007. Pretty much, I think it's identical to that year. When you think of like 1990 or you think of 2003, you think of certain songs, well, this is them. But once again, this album is not going to get anywhere near a perfect score, because it appealed to a lot of different people, and the songs I was looking for was post-grunge. So I'm going to talk about a few of the songs. It's Not Over sounds just like a post-grunge song, and the hook is really good. I mean, that one is just hypnotic, and the effects of the song sound really, I mean, it's just something you want to take a drive to, really. But as far as any other songs like it, there aren't any. I think the only song that comes close that's a radio song is the song Crashed. Now, Home and Over You both kind of do acoustic guitar type stuff, and I looked up the genre that those songs were, and they are pop rock. So I wasn't interested. I tried listening to them, didn't appreciate it. What I Want was the second single released to rock radio, and this one has Slash on there, and that one is just a straight metal track, which they do pretty well. I mean, it's kind of like Three Doors Down doing it. It's like, you know, all rock bands, I think, can do metal. They just choose what avenue they want to go through, but it's good to see that they can actually do it. The third single released to rock stations is What I Want What I Want. Now this one I forgot what it sounds like, but no way, I just described that one. So it was Crashed. Crashed was the third single released to Rock, and this one sounds similar. It's kind of in between It's Not Over and What I Want. I mean, the production is not as I want to say ambivalent, if that's the right word. It's not as booming this time. This is kind of in the background a little bit, but I still appreciated it because it did still somewhat sound like post-grunge. So that's 3 songs. I think The Rock probably plays that pretty well, but once again, 8 singles off an album. This is about as large as you can get. I mean, if you drop an album and it charts for almost 2 years, that's a huge success. And then they came back right after that in 2009. So they had actually, they liked their success so much that they decided to go again. But so this album's going to get a 3 out of 10 from me, because I liked 4 out of 12, and the 4 songs were It's Not Over, Crashed, What I Want, and There and Back Again. There and Back Again is just another metal song. It's their take on a rougher and edgier song, but there just wasn't enough of those moments. Now the big problem with scoring this is just that I know a lot of people are going to wind up disagreeing with my score, because they're looking at the songs and the feelings that this album caused them, and it's like, hey, this was perfect. I loved the song Home. I loved the song Over You. I love the song Feels Like Tonight. Any of these type songs that you heard back 9 years ago. But the whole thing is depending upon the genre, I think just as many people are going to say, well, it was light in terms of actual rock. I mean, it's one of those that you kind of say it's okay to listen to it, but it's just soft. That's the best thing to put it, is the softness of the project kind of hinders it, but I know that it still serves its intended audience well. But so do I, can this record be topped? I think the answer is yes. Could have used at least a couple more post-grunge songs. I mean, the sheer amount of acoustic guitar that's on this album is overwhelming. They could have, I think that there probably should have been more songs like It's Not Over than Home, which is what they kind of aimed for. So this is really pop rock, and that's a little bit disappointing. But the social score gets a 10. That means how well it plays around your friends. If you don't have friends who like radio, it's probably more like a 3. So once again, just like my score. But yeah, the future Daughtry, I think they dropped an album in 2014, so they'll be back at some point.